All right, Ron. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Big A. It is a beautiful night, the perfect setting that you'd want if you were trying to create the backdrop for Don Sutton's 300 victory. And certainly, Sutton is hoping that that's exactly what happens here tonight. Sutton 4-5 on the year, but he has won his last 2 decisions. He is making his second attempt at 300 victories. Remember, he left leading in that last outing in his effort against the Kansas City Royals. But here he goes against the Rangers. O.W. McDowell stepping in against him, hitting .260. And the first pitch of the game is a breaking ball, and McDowell runs up to bunt and takes high, 1-0. For Sutton, of course, he's pitching on 3 days rest, although really the differential in terms of hours compared to his previous couple of starts, not that much different. DeCinces in on the grass at third. Here's the 1-0 pitch to McDowell, and it swung on and hit a mile into the air into center field. Pettis drifting under it. He's there and makes the catch, and we have our first out. And that will bring up Gary Ward, the left fielder, who's hitting .279, and he's a hot hitter right now. He's hitting 12 of his last 13. The Angels defensively behind Sutton this evening. Wally Joyner at first base. Rob Wilfong at second. Dick Schofield is the shortstop, and Doug DeCinces is a third. In left is Brian Downing. In center, as you've heard, Gary Pettis. And in right, Rupert Jones. The catcher is Bob Boone, and Don Sutton is on the hill. 6'1", 190-pound right-hander. Originally out of Alabama, now out of Laguna Hills. There's a high fly ball into right center field. Rupert Jones has this one in his sight and makes the catch, and just like that, McDowell and Ward are retired. And Pete O'Brien will step up, hitting .307. Ron, I enjoyed Sutton's comments after not winning in his last outing. And they were saying, were you disappointed that you didn't get the 300 victory? And he said, sure, I wanted it. There's no question about it. I'll get it eventually. And besides, if it was easy to accomplish, lots of people would have done it already.
Well, I tell you what, 300 wins, that is something really special. It is. It's one of those magic plateaus that exist in baseball.
O'Brien takes a pitch for a strike, 1-1. Well, as we talked about earlier, the Angels have had a couple of their stars reach magical plateaus. Reggie, the 500 home run club in '84. Carew, 3,000 hits last year. O'Brien takes a breaking ball down low, 1-1. And maybe it'll be Sutton tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike to O'Brien, who's in the midst of a 7-game hitting streak. The longest by a Ranger this year, 10 in a row by Pete Incaviglia, who waits in the on-deck circle. 2 out, nobody on here in the first. Don Sutton working on O'Brien.
There are some magic plateaus in this game of baseball that I'm sure a lot of people are aware of.
1-1 to O'Brien. Popped up on the left side. Shortstop Dick Schofield drifting back on the grass and makes the catch to retire the side. And Ron will get your thoughts on the plateaus when we come back. For the Rangers in the first inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And we'll go to the bottom of the first. Rangers, nothing. Angels coming up. Don Sutton completes his first inning of work flawlessly, so the Angels come to bat against young rookie Jose Guzman, 23 years old, out of Puerto Rico. And the first man he deals with is Gary Pettis. Gary hitting .227 as he steps in. Guzman, a right-hander, 6-6 on the year, an ERA at 3.87. And the first pitch from him misses high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. After Pettis, it'll be Joyner and then Downing. Gary up there left-handed. Guzman rocks on the rubber, comes back to the plate, and misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. The marching orders for Pettis were pretty much summed up by Harry Walker in his interview with Ron Fairley during our pregame festivities. Keep the hands above the ball, think inside out, go the opposite way. There's the pitch in there. Or was it? No, it's ball 3 to Pettis. 3-0, it just missed. And then, after you've done all of that, for Gary, the assignment is to fly and let his speed take over. Guzman's 3-0 delivery, and Pettis takes in there for a strike, 3-1.
Well, you have to take advantage, Al, of the strong things that you have going for you. Take advantage of the strengths. And Gary's strength is his speed, his ability to run. And why not take advantage of that? Hit the ball on the ground and use those legs.
Pettis takes it outside and high. Ball 4. Maybe he'll get a chance to use his legs right here. Wally Joyner will come up. As he does, let's quickly align that Texas defense for you. Pete O'Brien at first base, Toby Hara at second, Scott Fletcher the shortstop, and Larry Parrish returning to the roles of the active tonight. Off the disabled list to play third. Gary Ward is in left. Odaby McDowell in center, and Ruben Sierra is in right. Gino Petralli doing the catching, and Jose Guzman is on the mound. Second appearance against the Angels, got cuffed up last year. There goes Pettis, and the pitch to Joyner is hammered into left center field. A base hit. Gary around second, going to third, and he's in there safely. And the Angels are in business in the first inning. That was a very interesting at-bat, Ron, because Jose Guzman and Wooly Joyner during the winter were teammates in Puerto Rico. And while Joyner won the Triple Crown with his bat, Guzman won the Pitcher of the Year award with his arm. And in their first encounter head-to-head, Joyner goes the other way and puts Guzman in trouble.
And manager Gene Mock sending Gary Pettis to first pitch. Shortstop covering, Wally going the other way, and bang, just like that, runners at first and third. That was awful pretty.
Boy, that certainly was. The runners at the corners. Here's Downing hitting .277, 7 homers, 33 runs batted in, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Guzman with a sneaky fastball, we are told, a slider and a change. Was at the AAA level last year, came up briefly at the end of the season with the Rangers and was 3-2 with an ERA under 3. The 1-0 to Downing, and it's inside, right at the elbow. 2 balls, no strikes. And Guzman showing signs of some butterflies. If nothing else, I'm sure he's aware of what Sutton has accomplished, and it wouldn't be human if he didn't have a little extra adrenaline flowing as he takes the hill tonight.
Also, I think he has the back of his mind that the Texas Rangers have lost the first 2 ball games.
And 4 in a row, and they have apparently had their problems of late. The 2-0 pitch to Downing is a breaking ball for a strike, 2-1. In fact, that 4-game losing streak for Texas, the longest of the year for them. So they are having to fight through a tough period of their season. Pettis down the line from third, Joyner away from first base. The outfield playing Downing slightly to pull, the infield doing the same. The 2-1 delivery is fouled back, and the count squares. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They say of Jose Guzman that he has poise beyond his years. Certainly that would explain why he has made it to the big league so quickly. In fact, he was the opening day pitcher for the Rangers and beat the Blue Jays, so he has handled the pressure before. The youngster, like Sutton, has won his last 2 decisions. He has Downing 2-2. The pitch is a ground ball. It's slowly towards short. Fletcher charges. He goes to second in the dirt. In time for the 4th, but that's all. Pettis comes home to score, and Don Sutton has a 1-0 lead. So Brian Downing gets the job done. He hits the ball towards short, and while the force is executed 6-4, Pettis comes home, and the Angels are on top. So now Sutton, unlike his last outing, has a lead to work with. Here's Reggie Jackson, the KMPC Security Pacific designated hitter tonight. Hitting .325. Guzman delivers, fastball away, 1-0. Reggie with 7 homers, 23 runs batted in. He's not homered since May 14th. And here he is right now against Guzman, a pitcher who he sent one over the wall against last year late in the season. Go to first, and back to the bag goes Downing. 1-0 Angels here in the first. Don Sutton, in pursuit of his 300th career victory, has a run to work with. The Angels trying to give him more. The pitch to Reggie is outside. Make it 2 balls, no strikes. Jackson last night against the Rangers went 3 for 3. He has hit in 7 of his last 8 ball games. He's as hot as any time he's been this year. And with that .325 average, he's dangerous. Throw to first. And Downing back again. The Rangers showing good respect for Reggie. They've seen him use the whole field, so they're playing him straight away. Guzman's 2-0 is a curve for a strike, 2-1. Nicely done. So even though he was behind on the count, he didn't give in. Did not just throw the fastball, and Reggie backs away. Angels on this homestand have won 4 of 6, and they're trying to finish on an upbeat note. Fastball to Reggie is outside, 3-1, and Guzman struggling, no question about it. He walked Pettis, gave up a single to Joyner on the hit-and-run play. That put runners in the corners. Downing's ground ball to short gets Pettis in, and now Jackson at the plate. 3-1 the count. Guzman delivers, and Reggie takes off speed in for strike 2. Oh, that was a gutsy decision right there. 3-1, and Reggie certainly sitting on a fastball, and he gets the change. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Reggie settling in again, has to be wondering, what will the kid throw me now? Downing takes his lead. The pitch, fastball, lined in the left center field. That ball's in there. Downing to second. He's racing to third, and he will make it without a play as the Texas outfield keeps Reggie from taking the extra base by throwing to second. So Reggie Jackson continues to eat up Texas pitching. Last year he hit .372 against them. This year he is 4 for 7. And here comes Tom House, the Texas pitching coach who's done such a marvelous job with this young conglomerate of hurlers for the Rangers. And it's House going to the mound now to try and settle down Jose Guzman. So the Angels, with a couple of singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice, they have one looking for more, and Rupert Jones will be stepping in. And while the meeting goes on, we can remind you that you can vacation aboard the luxury liner MV Homeric during the Angels' second annual cruise, which will be coming your way November 14th. And you can join Gene and Jackie Autry and some of the Angel players on this 4-stop Caribbean visit. For the details, just call 800-521-7309. That's 800-521-7309. And the Angels trying to cruise to victory here tonight on the HMS Don Sutton.
Now, just an added note, Reggie now has reached first base, at least first base anyway, 7 consecutive at-bats.
That is interesting. The pitch home to Rupert outside, 1-0.
3 base on balls and 4 hits. He went 3 for 3 last time.
Is he hot?
He's hot.
He's hot. So the Angels trying to make it a big first inning for Don Sutton. Guzman delivers to Rupert, and it's fouled off the fist to the left of home, and a fly. 1-1. And a good catch there on the second deck, right above the railing. And the Angel fans, like Don Sutton, certainly have the adrenaline flowing tonight. 1-0. The Halos on top. Rupert Jones scratching at the dirt in the batter's box, trying to get his footing just right. Downing at third base. Jackson at first. Just 1 gone. Guzman kicks. Here's the pitch. Fouled away again off to the left. This one goes up to the third deck. So Rupert is spreading around the souvenir. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Guzman in his 6th pro year, he signed at the age of 17. And last year he was picked by the baseball periodical, Baseball America, as one of the top prospects in the minors, and certainly he has proved to be that. The 1-2 is inside to Rupert. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jones hitting .239. He has 5 homers, 22 runs batted in. He was trying to avoid the double play, which would end the inning. He's thinking base hit, fly ball to at least get Downing home. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. The pitch home. Fouled to the screen, and they'll try it again. The Angels have swept 1 series this year already. It came in April against the Minnesota Twins. And that was here at the Big A, and they're trying to duplicate that against the Rangers at a critical time. Here's the 2-2 to Rupert. Fastball high, ball 3, and young Guzman is a pitch away from loading him up. A beautiful night for baseball. Clear skies overhead. Temperatures on the cool side. And the Angels trying to warm things up. Here's the 3-2. There goes Reggie, and the pitch is high. Ball 4. So there's a halo over every base now. Guzman digging a deeper hole for himself, and you would think, Ron, that the only way to get out of it now is the double play. And
And if you're the California Angels, Doug DeCinces standing in. He's been hot. A base hit right here could really get Don Sutton off to a great start this ball game, shooting for number 300. DeCinces, has been swinging the bat well. A big home run just last night.
Not only that, he's had 4 homers run and 11 RBIs in his last 9 games. So you're right. Here's the man you'd like to have in this position, Doug DeCinces. Bases loaded, 1 out. Already 1-0 Angels, and we're only in the bottom of the first. Doug stepping in, hitting .233 in all. 9 total home runs, 36 runs batted in. Only Joyner has more among the Halos. Here's the pitch. Fastball right down Broadway. Call it strike 1. The Angels trying to jump on another right-hander. They've had excellent success against righties this year. They're 24 and 17. Downing at third. Reggie's at second. Rupert Jones at first base. The Rangers playing straight away for DeCinces, and the 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit a mile into the air down the left field line. Ward coming over, crosses the chalk, and then makes the catch, and Downing starts toward the plate but holds as the throw comes in and is cut off by Parrish. So DeCinces hits the ball in the air and gets it to the outfield all right, but not deep enough. So 2 down, and that may prove to be a most important out as far as this inning is concerned. The Angels, as we've indicated, with a big chance to give Sutton some breathing room. They've gotten 1, but Guzman, if he can get by Rob Wilfong, who steps in now, really has to consider himself quite fortunate.
Sometimes that third out in an inning is tough to get.
Hoping that is true in his situation. Guzman delivers, and it's swung on and banged into center field. That's in there for a base hit. Downing scores. Here comes Reggie. The throw is dropped by Petrali. 2 runs are in. The Angels lead 3-0, and the fans come to their feet at the Big Edge. Wilfong got a fastball out over the plate that he could handle, and he went right back to the middle with it. Guzman trying to jump ahead on the count, falls behind on the scoreboard, and there are runners at second and third as a result of that throw to the plate.
If Ottavy McDowell does not short hop the catcher, Petrali, Jackson would have been out.
But Petrali could not handle the throw cleanly. Still 2 down, 3-0 Angels. Here's Schofield, runners at second and third. Dick hitting .241. Guzman's pitch is a slider this time. It's swung on and missed, 2-1. So as you pointed out, Ron, sometimes the third out can be the toughest one for a pitcher to get. And Wilfong illustrates that quite succinctly.
Well, they get out there in the mound, and they know they're in a jam, 1 man away, and all of a sudden, bang, they make a good pitch like they did to DeCinces. He pops the ball up, and they say, okay, I'm going to get out of this inning. And then they fail to make 1 more pitch.
They let down just
That's
a little bit.
There's that little bit of a letdown in concentration.
The strike 1 to Schofield, change, misses high, 1-1. In the bullpen for the Rangers, there is activity already. But we have yet to pick out exactly who it is. But something is going on out there. 3-0 Angels, bottom of the first. Wilfong, the hero so far. Here's the pitch, and Schofield drives one to right field. Sierra going back, but he has a play and makes the catch. In the first, though, the Angels certainly give Don Sutton a nudge in the right direction. They scored 3 times on 3 base hits. There were no Ranger errors. 2 men are left on, and we'll head to the second. Angels 3, Rangers nothing.
Some of the best music of all time, like this on 710 KMTC.
Sutton certainly has to be feeling more comfortable about things. He leads 3-0 as he faces Pete Incaviglia, Larry Parrish, and Ruben Sierra. Incaviglia hitless in the series, 0 for 6. Sutton's pitch is a curveball for a strike called, 0-1. Got the outside edge. Incaviglia hitting .264 with 11 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Trying to help the Rangers get some runs on the board. The strike 1 pitch is down low, make it 1-1. The Rangers have not scored consistently of late. Of course, that's part of the reason they've lost 4 in a row. In fact, they have just 1 run in their last 19 innings of play. It is tough to sustain winning with that kind of production. The 1-1 to Incaviglia is swung on a miss. Sutton showing him a breaking ball that 3/4 of the way down to the plate was a strike, but then when it got to the platter, it broke away. And Incaviglia had committed himself, so he's behind on the count 1-2. The rookie remaining in that cleanup spot for Bobby Valentine and the Rangers. Quite a compliment to him. And the 1-2 pitch is a bit high, 2-2. Ron, I think Incaviglia has set some lofty goals for himself in his rookie season. He says he wants to hit 30 or 40 home runs and drive in 100 RBIs. Not a bad rookie season at all for anybody. Not a bad year no matter whether you're a rookie or not.
I don't know whether he's going to reach that or not.
Well, certainly he has the potential, they say, to do it. And he has, obviously, the confidence. He swings. It's a big chopper toward DeCinces at third. Doug has it. Overhand to Joyner, and we have the first out of the second. So that goes 5-3 if you're scoring along, and that'll bring up Larry Parrish, just off the disabled list today. Hey, fans, don't forget, at Chevron, you'll find yes after yes waiting for you. Yes to low self-serve prices, and yes to credit cards and cash discounts. Chevron says yes. Parrish, excuse me.
I was about to say, those are pretty lofty numbers for just your first year in to think you're going to come in and hit 30 or 40 home runs and drive in over 100 runs.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal, not necessarily the reality. There's some pitch that's outside the Parrish.
I think he's got a chance to strike out 175 to 200 times, though. He's well on his way to that.
Yes, indeed. 1-0 to Parrish is swung on a miss, 1-1. Larry Parrish. Mentioned he was just activated today after being on the disabled list for about 3 weeks with some pulled rib muscles. When he went on the DL, he was third in the American League in RBIs. He takes a fastball outside, so 2-1. He's a good one. He has excellent power. He's hurt the Angels through his career. His best year, probably 1979 with Montreal when he drove 30 over the wall. The 2-1 to Parrish. A breaking ball for a strike called, and that evens it up 2-2. Interestingly, the Rangers made room for Parrish on the roster by trading George Wright to the Montreal Expos today for a player to be named later. How often have you heard that phrase? The 2-2, and Parrish hits a high pop fly on the left side, backing up his Schofield. He's on the rim and makes the grab. 2 away. And that'll bring up Sierra. Player to be named later. That reminds me of a story Rocky Bridges told in spring training a couple of years ago as a coach for the Giants. They had a youngster trying to make it with them. His name, Jose Gonzalez. And Jose was not happy with being just another of the many Gonzalezes who have played Major League Baseball. So he said, I'm going to change my name, and said, I think I'll use my middle name and call me Uribe Gonzalez. And after a couple of days, he didn't like that either. Says, call me Jose Uribe, and he's still using that now. And Rocky had a great line for all of that. Pitch to Sierra is outside 1-0. When asked about what he thought about Jose Uribe's name, he said, well, obviously we have a player to be named later. That was Rocky Bridges. The 1-0. Ground ball hit back to the middle behind second and past the glove of Rob Wilfong into center field. So that's the first hit off of Sutton, who leads the Rangers in the second 3-0. And that'll bring up Toby Harrah. Ron, at the end of Sutton's last inning, we were talking about some of the real milestones in this game. The 500 career home runs, the 3,000 hit plateau, and the 300 win club among pitchers. Those are the three most prestigious achievements for any ball player, certainly. First pitch to Harrah, and there's a little ground ball hit over the mound towards second. Wilfong charges, goes to first in time, and we're unable to get that discussion in. Maybe we can get it in the bottom of the second. Because as things go here in the top of the inning, Don Sutton puts down the Rangers again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Our man is stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 3-0 Angels.
This summer, taking your kids to see faces all over Florida will be child's play.
Bottom of the second, 3-0. The Angels leading. Bob Boone will step up, trying to ignite yet another rally. The Angels sending 8 men to the plate in their first at-bat. And Don Sutton with the cushion to work with. Jose Guzman ready to work. Boone hitting .201. The pitch to him is down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Bob playing in his 1,726th game as a catcher, which ties him with Ray Schalk for 6th place on the all-time list of catchers. Quite an honor for Bob. Fastball is outside to Boone, 2-0. Well, we were talking several times here in the early going about the plateaus that baseball players certainly have to revere as they look at the history of the game. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and Boone takes one in there for a strike. And again, let's set them up. The 500 home run club, the 3,000 hit plateau, and the 300 victories by a pitcher. Those seem to be the magical numbers. The 2-1 to Boone is in there for a strike. Make it 2-2.
Well, you can add to that 3,000 strikeouts. And then you step beyond that, 3,500 strikeouts
and 4,000, which Ryan has done.
Well, there's only one guy.
To second base, and Hera wraps it up for the out. Boone hits it crisply. It may have broken the bat on that swing. One away, and Gary Pettis coming up. He walked in his first at bat.
But you have only really one guy that's ever gone over 4,000 strikeouts. But really, 3,000 strikeouts, I think, is an awfully impressive plateau because there aren't that many guys that have done that in their career. You're talking about really a dozen or so, or a dozen and a half or so.
But the big three, the home run club, the 3,000 hit plateau, and the 300 wins. Those are the big ones. There's a line drive down the left field line, foul. 0-1 to Pettis. 3-0 Angels in the second. One out, nobody on. You know, we were talking during the break recently. Could any one player reach all three of those plateaus? And, of course, we immediately said, no, that's impossible. But then we thought about it. Fastball is inside to Pettis, 1-1. There is one player who might have been able to do it, at least one that comes to our minds.
If given the opportunity, the Babe.
That's right.
That's right. He was a great pitcher.
Pettis takes it down low, 2 balls and a strike. He proved it before he was acquired from Boston by the Yankees.
Kind of surprised us the other day. We're going down to Boston Red Sox when we were playing in Fenway. Some of the all-time records. Well, he's still among the top 10 as a pitcher.
That's right. Here's the 2-1 delivery to Pettis, and he's trying to bunt aboard and fouls it back, 2-2. Certainly, he's proven that he could reach the different plateaus with the bat, the home runs and the base hits, but he might have done it as a pitcher, too.
He was such a good ball player. People, when you think of Babe, you think of the great big skinny leg, the great big barrel chest, fat belly, and the skinny legs and all, and some guy hit home runs, but you forget that he was really one heck of a ball player.
2-1 to Pettis is swung on and missed. Actually, that was a 2-2, and he strikes out. That's the first K for Guzman, who's settling down a little bit. That's 3 in a row he's retired since that base hit by Wilfong. As Wally Joyner steps up, a quick reminder, enjoy your breakfast to the fullest with the bacon from Farmer John. No other bacon can match its rich, robust Western flavor from the smoking. Farmer John bacon. 2 out, bases empty, 3-0 Angels. Bottom of the second. Nice to have you with us. Guzman delivers, and Joyner takes high.
Now we have a monitor right here in front of us, and they just had a headshot of Wally Joyner. Does he shave yet? I'm still not convinced.
The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1.
If it is, it's a courtesy shave. There may not be a blade in the razor.
Well, I heard tell a rumor that he did shave once already this season.
Did he?
Had a couple of close shaves on the bases, I know that. The 1-1 pitch is pulled on the ground towards second. Big hop for Hera. And he sidearms to O'Brien, and that will end the Angel hopes in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. We go to the third. The Angels and Don Sutton leading 3-0. We're going to the third inning. Don Sutton leading 3-0. He's allowed just one hit, a base hit by Ruben Sierra in the second. But other than that, he's gotten everybody. And now he goes to work on Gino Petrali. And to take you along and to see how the Sutton saga continues here tonight, here's Ron.
Thank you very much, Alan. Angels on top in this ball game. They scored all the runs in the first inning by a score of 3-0. And the first pitch by Sutton is a breaking ball that is over the plate but low for a ball. You know, just as a gag, we were looking at some of the things here. We pulled out the encyclopedia just to talk about the Babe. Sutton winding, and the 1-0 pitch is on its way. Curved ball. This one's over for a strike. Interesting thing. Now, of course, the Babe didn't have a chance to pitch that much, although he did start in games that he started. He started 147 games. He won 94 of them. That's not so bad. There's a pitch that's low for a ball, and the count is 2-1. and had a lifetime ERA of 2.28. We're talking about Babe Ruth, folks.
And get a look at his World Series record.
He's 3-0 there.
And an ERA of 0.87.
0.87. There's a fastball high and outside, and the count goes to 3-1. And so we're just kind of playing with that idea. Is it possible someone could ever win 300 and hit 500 home runs?
And hit those 3,000 hits, too.
Yeah, well, Babe came up short because they walked him too much.
That's right, but he could have done all for it.
That's right. 3-1 pitch is hammered found on the right field line. I don't know of anyone else. A full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Gino Petrale. He was 0 for 4 last night. That's what he is in the series. Infield, outfield, playing straight away. Don Sutton. This is career start number 685 for Donnie. 3-2 pitch is hit hard to center field. Back goes Gary Pettis, and he's there to make the play. Petrale hit it well, but did not hit it well enough. And so there's out number 1.
That drive right there points out something I was going to ask you about, Ron. In Sutton's last start, he gave up 5 runs. But he did it during the day when the ball was jumping. Here at night, the ball does not carry quite as well. That should help him.
Well, I think that will be a little bit of a benefit, although it is warm here in Southern California, and that ball's going to carry better, but not anywhere near like it does in the daytime. Here's Scott Fletcher standing in, and the first pitch is high and inside, ball 1. Of course, Petrale really is not one of those kind of guys that has home run power either. He's yet to hit a home run this year.
Remember Buddy Biancalano?
Buddy Biancalano hit 2 the last series. How can you not forget him? Here's the 1-0 pitch. Is lifted high in the air in the left field. Coming on is Downing. He's there and makes the catch, and that takes care of Fletcher. So there are 2 men gone, and that'll bring up the leadoff man, Oda B. McDowell. By Sutton is popped up off of third base to Sensei over near the dugout. He has room on the track, and he makes the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Don Sutton. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, and after 2.5 here at the Big A, Angels on top of Texas 3-0. For the Angels in their half of the third inning, it'll be Downing, Jackson, and then Rupert Jones to be facing the right-hander, Jose Guzman. Angels leading it by a score of 3-0. All the runs we mentioned to you came back in the first inning when the Angels sent 8 men to the plate. Since then, though, Guzman has kind of settled down just a little bit. Here's the first pitch to Bryan, and it's a fastball high for ball 1. Guzman, 22-year-old right-hander. Right at the 500 mark, 6-6 against the league this year. The 1-0 pitch to Bryan is a big swing and a miss for a strike, 1-1. On deck is Reggie. They play Bryan pretty much straight away, although Fletcher at shortstop, playing him slightly to pull. There's a line drive, base hit left field. On 1 hop, Ward has it, now gets it back to the infield, and Downing with a leadoff single here in the third. And that brings up Reggie. Also allows us to remind the Angel fans that your friendly Southern California Chevrolet dealers, the interest rates in the new cars and trucks start as low as 5.9%, so why don't you drop in and see your participating Chevrolet dealer before June 30th for those low, flexible financing rates. Reggie standing in. He's been hot. He's batting .329 as he stands in. 7 home runs, 15, I take that back, 23 runs driven in, and the first pitch to him is over for a strike. Reggie has hit safely in 8 of the last 9 games. And to take it one step further, we mentioned to you a few moments ago that he has been on base 7 consecutive times. He is 4 for 4 in his last plate appearances, and then has 3 base on balls prior to that. Guzman taking some time, now has the signs from Petrale. And the 0-1 pitch is a fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reggie with 537 career home runs and 1,623 career RBIs. That's another plateau. Ball players that have driven in 1,500 runs. aren't many of us.
Very few have reached it.
That's right. There aren't many fellows that have been able to reach those kind of numbers. 1-1 pitch to Jackson. He is over for a strike, and Reggie would like to have that pitch back. Reggie second-guessing himself there at the plate with a count now 1-2. Reggie got down to a 1-1 count. He says, okay. Now maybe I'm not going to look for that fastball now. Maybe he's going to throw me that breaking ball, and sure enough, there's that fastball. And he says, man, I outsmarted myself. Downing with the lead at first base. The 1-2 pitch. Jackson hits one high in the air to center field. Oldby McDowell drawing a beat on it and makes the play. Downing halfway, has to go back to first. So Reggie finally makes it out. They finally get him off the bases after getting on 7 consecutive times. That is out number 1, and that brings up the right fielder, Rupert Jones. Not a bad crowd here at the Big A this evening. I'm going to guess somewhere right around 35,000 fans. Rupert Jones standing in. Rupert walked his first time up. Guzman with the signs. Now quickly goes to first base. Almost throws it away as Pete O'Brien makes a good play to keep that ball near the bag. Rupert, 5 home runs. He's driven in 22. Left-hand hitter waiting, and the pitch is just outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Angels. That's something we can talk about in a little bit. Texas, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Angels have not committed an error in 40 games this year. There goes the runner. The pitch is outside. The throw down to second base, not in time. Goes into center field. Downing will hold at second. Oldby McDowell, the center fielder, backing up. And Brian Downing stealing the base. One of the few times this year we've seen the green light as far as Downing is concerned. And for Brian, that is his 3rd stolen base of the year. So manager Gene Mott going with the count and speculating that Jose Guzman will be around the plate, sent the runner. He wants to try to stay out of that double play. So the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Rupert. And now Rupert with a chance to drive in a run. Guzman checking Downing at second, and the pitch is high and outside, 3-0. On deck is Doug DeCinces. Defensively, they play Rupert Jones straight away. As Guzman comes to the plate with a 3-0 pitch, Jones taking that one all the way, and it's high and outside, ball 4. And so that is the 3rd base on balls issued by Guzman, and the 2nd to Rupert Jones. And that brings up Doug DeCinces. DeCinces has flied out to left field. He's 0 for 1. He's hit safely in 9 of the last 12 games. Time call. Petrali, the catcher, out to talk to the right-hander. So the Angels have the right guy coming to the plate here with runners at first and second. DeCinces with a big 3-run homer in last night's game, aiding Mike Witt to that 4-0 victory. He has been hot in recent games. The first pitch is a curveball on the outside corner for a strike. In the last 9 games, Al mentioned to you that Doug has hit 4 home runs and has driven in 11. When he gets hot, he can carry a team. The Angels have about 4 guys in their ball club that have that capacity. But the one guy that has been the most consistent for the Angels all year long has been Wally Joyner, the young rookie. The 0-1 pitch to Doug is just outside with a breaking ball again. 1 ball, 1 strike. So all during spring training, you talk about your Reggie Jacksons and Doug DeCinces and Brian Downings. But it has been young Wally Joyner, the young phenom that really has carried this Angel club. Downing at second base, Rupert Jones at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to DeCinces. And the right-hander's next offering is hit off the end of the bat and popped up down the right field line. Back is Pete O'Brien near the stands, and he runs out of room. So DeCinces fouls it into the stands about a row or 2 deep. He stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ron, you talk about Joyner and the success he's had already in his rookie year. This has been a very interesting season because so many young, outstanding rookies have entered the major leagues, and I think there is an unusual amount, and it's a healthy amount, too. It's good to see so many people interested in who's going to be the Rookie of the Year this year.
Boy, it'd be tough to pick one. Who would you pick, Joyner or Jose Canseco, who leads the American League in RBIs?
And Incaviglia's having a good start.
That's right. Pete Incaviglia of the Texas Rangers. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's swung on and fouled back to the screen. So the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we have a lot of baseball left to go. This is game number 65 for the Angels. And they have a long way to go. But it is going to be interesting to see how those young players continue through what they refer to as the dog days. Guzman looking to second. The 1-2 pitch is on its way. Line drive, base hit into right field. They're going to wave Downing around. Here's the throw to the plate. Petrelli has it, and Downing is out for immediate. Downing with a bad break from second and a very accurate throw from Sierra in right field. And they get Downing by about 10 or 15 feet. And on the play, around to third goes Rupert Jones, and DeCinces holds at first. Well, there wasn't much doubt about Downing being thrown out. That is 9-2 in the putout. Very good throw by the right fielder. And an accurate one at that.
There's another rookie, Ruben Sierra.
Ruben Sierra.
He's called up a couple of weeks ago, and the Angels finding out the hard way that he has a good arm.
Here's Rob Wilfong, and the first pitch is a chopper back up over the mound. Near the bag is Fletcher. He has it. Steps on second to force DeCinces. And that'll do it for the Angels in their half of the third. No runs and a couple of hits. They leave 2. They've stranded 4. And after 3 complete here at the Big A, Angels on top of Texas 3-0.
AMP.
Gary Ward to lead things off for the Rangers. We go to their half of the 4th inning. And the first pitch by Sutton is swung on and hit high and hit well to center field. Back goes Gary Pettis near the warning track and makes the play. Gary Ward swinging at the first pitch and flying out deep to center field. There's out number 1. Sutton has now retired 10 of 11 that he has faced. And that brings up the first baseman, Pete O'Brien. Also gives us a chance to remind the Angel fans that winning combination for all the fans that are listening along the way. Why don't you light up the charcoal, sit back, and pour an ice-cold Budweiser, and then listen to the ball game. A great triple play. Fans, this Bud's for you. First pitch to O'Brien is low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch by the veteran right-hander is over the plate below, and the count is 2-0.
You know, Ron, with Ward swinging at that first pitch, that's the second time in his 2 at-bats he's done that. I'm sure Don Sutton would like to have more of the Ranger hitters doing that because the more pitches he throws, the closer he gets to 100 for the night, and the closer he is to coming out of the game.
That is true. There's a pitch that's on the outside corner for a strike. I'm surprised that the Texas Rangers aren't taking more early in the ball game to make Sutton work more.
I am, too, because they could get him out of there.
That has been a little bit of a bugaboo for Donnie after about, like you say, 90, 95 pitches. There's a pitch that's hit hard into right center field. Pettis is there, makes the play, and Gary once again showing that great range and running that one down. So 2 men away, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Pete Incaviglia. Well, you look back at Don Sutton, he won his first ball game against the Houston Astros back in 1966, and he beat Hall of Famer Robin Roberts.
You were there, weren't you?
I was. And I want to say, if this is the game that I recall, I had just popped up with the bases loaded, and Jim Gilliam, I think, came back with a triple. And I think that was the difference of the ball game. First pitch to Incaviglia is a curveball over for a strike. I think that is the ball game. I really do.
Sutton remembers it, too, as a game, the first ever on the turf at the Astrodome. Remember, they started with the grass there.
That is true. The 0-1 pitch is way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Then victory number 100 came against the San Francisco Giants at Dodger Stadium. Donnie winning that one 1-0. Victory number 200 came against Pittsburgh. That was in Pittsburgh. 1-1 pitch. Curveball is high. And the count is 2-1 now to Incaviglia. That also a complete game effort, which Don won by a score of 7-2. victory number 250 for Don Sutton came against Chicago. And that was at Dodger Stadium, which he won by a score of 5-1. There's a drive into left field. Over is Downing. He dives and makes the catch. Downing going to his left to left center field. And an outstanding defensive play by Brian Downing. And that'll do it for the Rangers here in the fourth inning. 3 up, 3 down, and Sutton has retired 12 of 13. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base after 3.5. Angels lead it by a score of 3-0.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
For the Angels in their half of the fourth inning, it'll be Schofield, Boone, and then Pettis. Be facing Jose Guzman. Angels on top by a score of 3-0. Well, there's some good seats still available for Saturday, June 28th, right here at the Big A for that Equitable Celebrity Old-Timers game. Ernie Banks will be here, Jim Fregosi, Orlando Cepeda, Betty Matthews, Kurt Flood. Well, there's going to be many, many more than just that. And that'll all get underway right around 5 o'clock. And then it'll be the Angels and the Cleveland Indians. So why don't you do your ticket shopping? Come on out to the Big A. Get a chance to see some of those guys that wore those Major League uniforms from years ago. They're always fun to come out and watch those guys play. There's a throw down to second base. Schofield coming to the plate. Let's bring you up to date in some of those other games throughout the American League and the National League. In that Kansas City-Oakland game, it was won this afternoon by Oakland on a home run by Dave Kingman, his 15th of the year in the second inning. 1-0 Oakland. Young over Saberhagen. Saberhagen, last year's Cy Young Award winner in the American League, 4-7. Here's Schofield. And the first pitch to him is over for a strike. Dick is 0 for 1. He flied out to right field. That was back in the first inning when the Angels sent 8 men to the plate. In that Toronto-Milwaukee game, Milwaukee wins it 3-1 over the Blue Jays. Teddy Higuera, the winner, 9-5 against Clancy, the loser, 6-5. Here's the next offering, and it's a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chicago at Minnesota after 7 innings of play in that game. There have been a few home runs hit. Ron Kittle has hit a pair of home runs. There's a sharp ground ball in the hole at shortstop, booted by Fletcher. And Schofield will be on. They were playing him to pull. And let's see how they score that. It was hit almost right at him, and they're going to charge an error on Fletcher. First error committed in the game. That brings up the catcher, Bob Boone. The Angels have the leadoff man on. Boone is 0 for 1. In that Chicago-Minnesota game, we said after 7 innings of play, Chicago 6 and Minnesota 5. Reed and Herbeck with home runs for the Twins. Chicago has lost 4 in a row. Boston at New York. Red Sox came up with 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning to beat the Yankees 5-2. Good crowd on hand, 41,841. Red Sox over the Yankees. Griffey with his 8th home run of the year. Schofield with the lead at first base. Boone waiting. Guzman comes set, now steps off the rubber. Boone steps out, now steps right back in. Now Guzman at the belt. Boone around the bunt, and the pitch hits the hand of Boone. And look out. Bob Boone holding his hand as the pitch hit Bob. It was thrown right at his chest. And Bob got a hand up. He may have still had the hold of the bat. And it got him. Now Bob picking up the bat, I'm not too sure whether the home plate umpire has ruled that as a hit batter or whether it got the bat. And apparently the ball got the bat. We have a replay right here. It was thrown almost right at Boone's head. And it may have got the bat, and Boone trying to do some pretty good acting. So Boone is at home plate, and the count is 0-1. Those are not fun at bats when you're trying to run the butt like that. And next thing you know, one's thrown right at your coconut. So if it did get him in the fingers, it must not have gotten him that severely. So Boone standing in. And we're going to try to go at it one more time. Let's see if the bunt sign is still on. Bob around the butt, and the pitch is bunted along the third base side, but goes foul. So the count is now 0-2 to Bob Boone. And Schofield at first base will have to go back. Let's continue with that scoreboard for you. Detroit at Baltimore. The Tigers win by a score of 6-1. In that game, Larry Herndon hit his 4th home run of the year. King over McGregor. King, by the way, is 3-0. Guzman to the plate. Boone with a ground ball to near second. Fletcher has it, steps on second, and then goes to first for the double play. So Boone trying to sacrifice Schofield around. Is unable to do that and hits into a 6-3 double play. So that makes 2 men away, and that brings up the center fielder, Gary Pettis. San Francisco leads San Diego 3-1 after 3 innings of play down in San Diego. Cincinnati 3-2 over Houston. There's a final score there. Milner and Davis with home runs for Cincinnati. Robinson the winner, 5-0 over Smith, the loser, who is 1-3. The Dodgers defeated Atlanta 5-2. There's a base hit to center field by Gary Pettis. So Gary lines the first pitch to him, back up the middle, picks up his second hit of this series, and we'll keep an eye on him. Here's Wally Joyner coming to the plate. In that Dodger-Atlanta game, Murphy and Horner hitting home runs for Atlanta. Stubbs hitting one for the Dodgers. Valenzuela the winner, 10-4 over McMurtry, the loser, 1-3. Montreal 7-4 over New York. Wallach with a pair of home runs. Strawberry and Carter hitting home runs for the Mets. The losing pitcher, Gooden. Dwight Gooden lost this evening. He is 8-3. Yeoman's the winner, 6-5. St. Louis at Pittsburgh, final score. There's a toss to first. And Pettis is back. Pittsburgh defeats the Cardinals by a score of 2-1. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Pirates. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. There's another quick toss to first base. And then the final score, Philadelphia at Chicago. The Cubs win it 5-4. Dunston with his 8th home run of the year. That brings you up to date in all the other games. Pettis does not go, and the first pitch to Joyner is low for ball 1. Wally Joyner standing in. He's 1 for 2. 19 home runs. That's tops in the American League. He's also among the leaders with 50 RBIs. Pettis with a good lead. There goes Gary. And the pitch is outside. Throw to second base. Forget it. Not even close. Stolen base number 12 for Gary Pettis. Gary with an excellent jump that time. The throw was on the third base side of the bag, and it wasn't even close. So Joyner, with a 2-0 count, has a chance to drive in a run here. Guzman looking at Pettis. And the 2-0 pitch. Just outside, 3-0. On deck is Brian Downing. Angels on top here at the Big A by a score of 3-0. Don Sutton, the pitcher of record for the Angels, shooting for number 300 in his career. Guzman's 3-0 delivery is swung on and hit high in the air into center field. Coming over, and now cutting in front of the center fielder is Gary Ward, and makes the play. And that'll do it for the Angels in their half of the 4th inning. No runs and a base hit, an error, and a man is left. After 4 innings of play, it is Angels 3, Texas nothing.
This much for all that you do.
We have completed 4 innings of play here at the Big A this evening. Don Sutton is on the mound, ready to go back to work. He is retired 12 of the 13 batters that he's faced, and here in the 5th inning, it'll be Perry, Sierra, and Hera to be facing the veteran right-hander. And once again, returning to the microphone, here's Al Collins.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Don Sutton leading by that 3-0 score, and here's Larry Perry stepping in against him. For that upright stance of his, Sutton delivers, and his first pitch is popped up into shallow right field. Wilfong going back, coming on is Rupert Jones, and it's Rupert to take charge for the out. So Sutton has now retired a total of 8 in a row since that single by Sierra in the second, the only base hit he has given up so far.
And I'm still surprised they're going after that first pitch.
Boy, they are. And they are allowing Sutton, in essence, to use an economy number of pitches tonight. And to repeat, he has tended toward lasting about 90 to 100 pitches, and then he starts to have problems. Here's Sierra. The pitch to him is down low and inside, 1-0. It was his base hit, which has spoiled Sutton's bid for a no-hitter tonight. And we bring that up only because we've had that as a theme in this series. The 1-0 pitch is a little tapper up the first base line. It will trickle foul, 1-1. Just a few nights ago, Charlie Huff had a no-hitter for 8 1/3 innings. And then Wally Joyner broke it up with a single to center. And eventually it was Joyner who came around to score the winning run in that ball game for the Angels. They won it 2-1 on one hit. Tough night for Charlie Huff. Here in the fifth, though, the Rangers batting against Sutton. 1 out, nobody on. Sierra at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Parrish has popped out. Sutton, not just to Boone. Now Bills to the windup and the delivery. Curve fouled away, 1-2. We mentioned that Parrish popped up to start the inning, and that brings up an interesting quotation I recall Gene Mauch making before the season began with reference to Sutton. Gene was saying one thing about Don he's always noted: he seems to know where all the pop-ups are in the opposing hitters. Time after time he has induced the critical one, and he has had certainly his share of them tonight. 1-2, Sierra waits. Sutton delivers, and his breaking ball is low, 2-2. Of course, Sutton, too, will give up the long ball. He has surrendered 15 home runs this year. That has been his Achilles. But when he's kept that in check, he has been outstanding. The 2-2 to Sierra. Just inside, he went with the breaking ball and nibbled on the corner, didn't quite find it, 3-2. Sutton got off to a terribly slow start this year. He had a rough month of April, but he has rebounded. The 3-2 pitch to Sierra is swung on and fouled back, so they'll try it again. Sutton in that month of April, 0-2, an ERA over 10. In May, he went 2-3 with an earned run average of 4.78, and so far in June, he's 2-0 with a 2.70 earned run average. And he's throwing shutout baseball tonight through 4 1/3. So obviously the trend is in the right direction as far as Sutton and the Angels are concerned. And of course this evening he's on the threshold of 300 victories. 3-2. Ruben Sierra waits. Here's the pitch. And it's swung on and missed, strike 3. And for Sutton, that's his first strikeout of the evening. He has over 3,300 in his career, 3,361. And that'll bring up Toby Harrah, who grounded out 4-3 in the second. Don into the windup, and the first pitch to Harrah is a swing and a foul over the backstop screen. 0-1. You look back at Don Sutton's track record against the Rangers since he became an American Leaguer, and you would note that he has had a tremendous amount of success against them. He was 1-0 last year, an ERA at 0.68. At lifetime, he's 4-1 with an earning at 2.61. Another good reason why the Angels moved him up in the rotation to face the Rangers this evening. Little fastball misses high to Harrah, make it 1-1. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Angels so far. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Texas. Those are the key stats as Sutton continues to work. His next pitch to Harrah is a fly ball down the right field line. That will slice well back and up to the third deck here at the Big A. And then it will hit a seat and cascade down all the way to the first. Well, there must have been a Ranger fan up there who missed that ball. Because an Angel fan got it down below. 1-2 to Toby Harrah. 2 out, nobody on here in the fifth. 3-0 Angels. Sutton in pursuit of number 300 tonight. The 1-2 pitch is a ground ball towards short. Schofield vacuums it up, sidearms to Joyner, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Sutton. He has retired 10 in a row, and 15 of the 16 men he has faced in the ball game. And we'll go to the bottom of the fifth. Angels 3, Rangers nothing.
So, Mr.
great number of summer gifts can be yours at the Big A Saturday afternoon, July 19th, when the Angels host Toronto. A quality insulated picnic bag will be given to the first 20,000 adults. Compliments of Oscar Myers. So pick up your tickets for July 19th now. Come out and see the Angels and the Blue Jays and get that insulated picnic bag as well. 3-0. The Angels are leading the Rangers here in the fifth. They're trying to sweep the series and moved within a half a game of the top spot in the West. Texas having its problems, and the Angels trying to capitalize. The Halos, though, scoring all of their runs in the first inning, and since then they have been knocking on the door but unable to punch anything more across. They had a runner thrown out the plate in the third and a man stranded at second in the fourth. So we'll see what happens in the fifth as Downing starts it. Guzman into the windup and delivers, and his opening fastball is in there for a strike call. 0-1. Downing has hit into a force to drive in a run and single. Guzman right back, strike one, change. Little inside, little high as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels trying to win their 20th game at home against 13 losses. Now, they certainly fared well on the home turf. The 1-1 pitch is a check swing foul, first base side. Make the count 1-2 to Brian Downing. Reggie Jackson's waiting on deck, and Rupert Jones is in the hole as the Halos send up their 3, 4, and 5 men. Guzman asking for a new baseball to work with, and plate umpire Jim Evans obliges. He is 1/3 of the umpiring crew tonight. Normally a 4-man complement, of course, but Darrell Cousins, who was scheduled to be a third this evening, went home to be at his daughter's graduation, so he's not here. Fastball to Downing is in there for a strike. So 2-2 the count. 3-0 Angels here in the bottom of the fifth. Guzman to the windup and delivers, and it's high. Make the count full. Good crowd on hand here tonight. We would get somewhere around 35, maybe more, 35,000. The Angels already over the million mark. They have traditionally led the American League in attendance, and they're on their way to doing it again this year. The 3-2, and Downing belts it down the left field line, but it hooks foul and lands in the second deck, and he'll try it once more. Guzman, after a difficult first inning, has shown the type of poise that has marked his early career. That's why, as a 23-year-old right-hander, he's been given the ball so regularly by Bobby Valentine. There's one cued off the end of the bat back through the middle. Their second is Fletcher to field, and he throws to first in time. Nice play by Scott Fletcher. That one had English on it that Willie Mosconi would have been proud of. Before Reggie steps up, again a reminder that your friendly Farmers Insurance agent has asked me to tell you that insurance on your home, life, or business is as close as your telephone. All you have to do is call your fast, friendly, and fair Farmers agent. One away, and here's Reggie. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled in the first to left field, came around to score the third Angel run, and he flied to center in the third. 40 years old, and he's hitting .327. Fastball in there for a strike to him on 1. Not very often that a 40-year-old hits over 300. In fact, the last 40-year-old player to do that was Pete Rose back in 1981 when he hit .325. That's with a minimum of 400 at-bats as a benchmark. There's a swing and a foul by Reggie, and he was not trying for a single there. He was trying for it all. Big cut, strike 2. So Reggie Jackson well over 300. He has not been under 300 this year. And he is one of those Angels leading in the All-Star balloting so far. Reggie is an outfielder. Wally Joyner also leading as a first baseman. So far still nudging out Don Mattingly of the Yankees. The 0-2 to Jackson got him swinging. So Jose Guzman registers only his second strikeout, and that'll bring up Rupert Jones. Farmer John sending you all the action. And to enjoy smoked sausage at its richly smoked best, reach for the package labeled Farmer John. Now there are 3 different kinds to choose from. Farmer John's smoked sausage. 2 down, base is empty in the Angel half of the 5th inning. And Rupert Jones steps up. He has walked a couple of dimes. His average still where it was to begin the evening at .239. Outfield straight away on him. The pitch is pulled foul, first base side on 1. The infield back back on the right side. On the left, however, Fletcher in a step or two at short near the bag. Parrish a step or two behind third and shading Rupert to the hole. Just what you'd expect for a left-hand hitter. 0-1 the count. The pitch is a high fly ball hit deep to left field. Ward going back to the track, to the wall. Kiss it goodbye. Rupert Jones hits his 6th home run of the year, and it's now 4-0 Angels. Who until last night when DeCinces hit a home run on them had not given up a home run as a staff for something like 80 consecutive innings, but that has turned around in 2 consecutive games. And here's DeCinces, and he fouls one back. 0-1. So a big 2-out home run, which becomes all the more meaningful to the Angels. You score with 2 outs, and you are really doing some work. The Angels, with that 4-run cushion, Don Sutton has to feel a bit more comfortable, particularly in light of the way he's pitching. Guzman trying to shake that off. The young right-hander, strike one to DeCinces. Fastball misses in at the knuckles. 1-1. The Angels with 3 in the first, 1 here in the 5th, and they lead 4-zip. The next pitch, high and tight. That has some chin music with it. 2-1. Footnote on the home run by Rupert Jones, that's the 4th he has hit already this month. And we still have a couple of weeks left. There's a ground ball foul past third down the line. 2-2 to Doug. What makes that noteworthy is that he went the whole month of May and didn't hit any. But in June, he's turned it on. And Rupert Jones, who had reached the 20 home run plateau last year, starting to build up some steam. DeCinces, after backing out for a moment, gets in. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. The Rangers set up straight away against him. Guzman says yes to his catcher, Petrale, and the pitch on the way. High pop fly on the left side. Larry Parrish behind the back crosses the line, makes the catch, and the side retires. So DeCinces fouls out, but the Angels get another run. They do it on the home run by Rupert Jones. There were no errors. Nobody is left on base, and we go to the 6th. Angels 4, Rangers nothing. Gino Petrale leads things off against Sutton in the 6th inning and fouls the first pitch away, 1-1. Sutton leading 4-0, and he has retired 10 in a row, 15 out of 16 so far in the ball game. So he is zeroing in on 300 for sure. The right-hander into his windup, and the strike one to Petrale is a curveball in there again, make it 0-2. For Don Sutton, of course, this could be his evening of destiny. And there's a big crowd here hoping that that indeed happens. The strike 2 on the way, and it swung on and hit a mile into the air into shallow center field. Pettis racing on and makes the catch, 1 away. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Angels Radio Network.
KMPC Los Angeles.
Yes, indeed. This is Joe Stafford, inviting you to keep it on KMPC for the great stars and the great songs, the unforgettables.
Scott Fletcher stepping into the batter's box, 0 for 1 in the ball game. He fly to left in the 3rd. Don Sutton has thrown just 53 pitches through 5 1/3 innings tonight, so he would appear to be very fresh. He works the plate, and Fletcher lets it go by for a strike, 1-1. He's had a good breaking ball this evening. Don Sutton trying to add to a rather illustrious list of accomplishments that Angel pitchers have put together down through the 26-year history of the franchise. Fletcher takes one down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. As you look back down through the seasons under the halo, there have been some memorable achievements. Maybe we could go over some of them here in this inning. says yes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Fletcher grounds it crisply toward third. DeCinces has it. Goes to first, 2 down. And that'll bring up McDowell. As you look back, Ron, on all of the Angels' 26 years, I guess one of the most important achievements by a pitcher was that first win ever by Eli Gribba, their first draft pick. But you go on after that, and what comes to mind? You got Dean Chance as the only Cy Young Award winner.
Then you have Nolan Ryan, of course, the no-hitters, and, of course, several years of winning 20 ball games, along with Clyde Wright, won 20 ball games for the Angels 1 year. Bill Singer, also winning 20 ball games.
McDowell trying to bunt aboard, hits it right back to the box. Sutton has it, underhands to first in time, and the inning is over. And we'll talk more about the Angel pitching accomplishments a bit later on. But here in the 6th, Don Sutton continues to roll. He gets the side in order for the 4th consecutive inning. He has retired the last 13 in a row. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0 Angels. To the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0. The Angels lead, scoring 3 in the 1st and 1 in the 5th inning on the home run by Rupert Jones. And Rob Wilfong leads it off against young Jose Guzman. Ron, we were talking a few moments ago about some of the Angel pitching accomplishments down through the years, and we were cut off in midstream. Maybe we could go over them here in the 6th as Guzman goes to work against the Angels. The right-hander's first pitch to Wilfong is a fastball. A little inside, 1 ball, no strikes. We mentioned Eli Gribba's the first victory, then against Baltimore back in 61. Dean Chance with that Cy Young Award season, the only Angel ever to accomplish that. 1-0 pitch is fouled away, off to the left and out of play. So 1-1 to Wilfong. What about Bo Belinsky throwing the first no-hitter in Angel history, 62?
He did that at Dodger Stadium. And then put together, I think he won about 5 or 6 games in a row at that particular time. And, of course, the first no-hitter.
Bobo with the no-no.
That's right.
Parrish in on the grass at third against Wilfong. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch home is swung on and hit deep to right field. Sierra going back at the track in the corner and makes the catch for the out. Wilfong, who came up with a big hit to drive in 2 in that first inning, almost had the lead with a home run. He has only 2, and he almost had number 3. And that'll bring up Schofield. What are some of the other pitching accomplishments of note? You mentioned Ryan and the no-hitters. He had 4 in an Angel uniform. And that's still boggling to me.
It sure is. I would probably say the most dominating of all those may have to be the perfect game by Mike Witt against this very same team, the Texas Rangers.
That is correct. Schofield swings and misses for a strike on 1. That was just a couple of years ago to end the season. Mike Witt, the last pitcher, in fact, to throw a no-hitter in the big leagues. That performance still with a great deal of luster around it. The strike 1 to Schofield. He's bunting, and he gets it down toward third. Parrish charges to field and guns him down. Schofield hit it a bit too hard, and Parrish able to make the play. And before Boone steps up again, a reminder to you kids, you can win a trip to see the Angels on Chevron Youth Baseball Night. Just have your coach send a postcard by June 30th to Chevron Youth Baseball, radio station KMPC, P.O. Box 710, Los Angeles, California, 90078. Guzman to the windup. Here's the first one to Boone. A little outside, 1-0. You know, another Ryan performance comes to mind, though, on great pitching performances by an Angel in history. What about the 383 strikeouts that 1 year?
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's a bundle, and that's a lot of fastballs and curveballs for strikes.
There's a pitch in there to Boone for a strike, 1-1. It was that kind of year, and so many others he has put together that earned him the nickname, or that fastball anyway, of the Von Ryan Express. Boy, pure heat, Nolan Ryan. Here's the 1-1 to Boone. And it's cut on a miss, 1-2. Guzman throwing it up there with Mustard on it. Those are some of the pitching performances that come to mind. I'm sure Angel fans listening might come up with some others, too, that would stand out. Maybe you've got some, too.
Well, I just off the top of our head, when we're talking like that, like we are right now, I can't think of any others. And I'm sure that when we go off the air, we'll probably think of about 15 or 20.
There's a pitch outside to Boone, 2-2. Guzman delivers, and Boone pulls it down the left field line. A long run for Ward. He crosses the line and backhands it. He backhands it for the final out and foul ground. Nice play by Gary Ward. We hesitated as he went up against the railing, but he holds on, and the inning is over. So Guzman has retired 7 of the last 8. The one man he did not get, Rupert Jones, hits a home run. And so after 6 full, we go to the 7th. The Angels and Don Sutton still leading 4-0. The Angels trying to move within a half a game of the Texas Rangers in the West and do it in historical way as Don Sutton leads 4-0 as we go to the 7th inning. Gary Ward to lead it off. The Rangers have not scored in the last 15 innings of play, being shut out yesterday by Witt, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way here. Ron Fairley to take you along.
The first pitch to Ward is high for ball 1, and that's the first pitch that Ward has let go by this evening. He is 0 for 2. Don Sutton now with, let's see, that is 58 pitches for Don Sutton, so he's having a good evening there. The 1-0 pitch is on its way, and it catches the outside corner to even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. I just thought of somebody else that the California Angels pitching accomplishment. Clyde Wright, the no-hitter by Clyde Wright. I knew we'd think of somebody.
A left-hander. I knew you'd think of a left-hander sooner or later.
Here's the 1-1 pitch by Sutton that has popped up off of first base, and that'll go back into the crowd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, I got to protect those left-handers. We need a lot of help.
You're right. You do.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Gary Ward. Don Sutton with 58 career shutouts. He has a shutout to his credit this year. A couple of outings ago, he blanked the White Sox for number 58. Don staring down, now has the signs by Boone and the 1-2 delivery. He is swung on, a bouncer over at Donnie's head. Wilfong near the bag has it, goes to Joyner in time. So Ward bounces out 4-3, and I guess we can have the countdown. Donnie now needs just 8 outs for career win number 300.
And you know, Ron, the Angel defense has been sparkling behind him again tonight. The Halos, of course, leading the American League defensively. What is it? They've failed to commit an error in, 41 games?
40 games they have failed to commit an error in this year.
That's outstanding.
Here's Pete O'Brien. The first pitch is a ground ball to Wilfong's left. He goes down on one knee, makes the play, and goes to Joyner. And we're just talking about the defense. 4-3 in the putout. And just like that, it is Rob Wilfong with another good defensive play. There is nothing that can help a pitcher or tear down a pitcher any more than either good defense or bad defense behind him. Boy, that has a big effect as to the outcome of the game. So 2 men are gone here in the 7th inning. Don Sutton now needs just 7 more outs for 300. Here's Pete Incaviglia. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that is low for ball 1. Sutton winds, and the 1-0 pitch is on its way. A curved ball that has Incaviglia bending back out of the way. This evening, Incaviglia is 0 for 2. He has bounced out to third, and he's lined out to left field. 2 balls, no strikes. Don Sutton has set down 15 straight and 20 of 21. The 2-0 pitch is on its way. That's right around the knees with a fastball. Call strike 1, 2-1 now. Infield, outfield straightaway. Incaviglia has good power, outstanding power, 11 home runs. He leads the club in that category. Sutton's 2-1 delivery. He is swung on and hit well to left center field. Back goes Pettis. I'll see you later. A home run for Incaviglia, and it is now 4-1 Angels. Well, we said he had power. There's no question about that, as Incaviglia hits his 12th of the year. And now Sutton's lead is just 3 runs. That brings up the third baseman, Larry Parrish. Well, we can forget the shutout, but more importantly right now for Don Sutton is victory number 300. Perry standing in. He is 0 for 2. And the pitch by Sutton is swung on and missed for a strike. Incaviglia had a pitch that was up in the strike zone, and he didn't miss it. He got all of it.
That's his first hit of the series, too.
And that is the first hit of his series. You're correct. He is 1 for 9 in the series. Sutton winds and the 0-1 delivery. Here's a breaking ball. Swung on and missed. The ball gets by Boone, goes all the way to the backstop. Perry swung at a bad pitch, 0-2.
So Sutton gives up his 16th home run of the year, and that's really not that unusual for him. I remember Walt Olson saying many, many years ago in an interview I overheard that Sutton would give up lots of home runs, and of course Smokey was right, as he usually was on a lot of things.
Well, Don historically has given up a lot of home runs. He's around the plate, and sometimes he gets up to that strike zone. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Perry's chasing the third ball, and that'll do it for the Rangers. Although they come up with 1 run in the inning. On 1 hit, the home run by Pete Incaviglia, his 12th of the year, and after 6.5, Angels on top, 4-1. Hey, kid, Kellogg is doing it again. How would you like to be an honorary California Angels bat boy or bat girl? If you're between 7 and 12 years of age, you're eligible thanks to Kellogg Supply. Kellogg is drawing names again, and one of the lucky winners this time could be you. So get Mom or Dad or somebody to take you to a Kellogg nursery or garden center displaying the Kellogg Bat Boy, Bat Girl contest poster and sign up. No purchase necessary. Kellogg is the company that makes all those organic fertilizers and soil conditioners like Nitrohumus and
Angels Baseball brought to you by your Southern California Epson West dealers. See the powerful Epson Equity One personal computers today. By Gabriel Gas Rider Shock Absorbers, the high-pressure shocks with a high-tech edge. By your Southern California Micro D Toshiba dealers. The 3-in-1 thinners make you look good. And by Security Pacific Bank, with loans for the California dream. Ask for their exclusive deferred payment option.
Angels in the 7th inning are sending up the top of the order to face Jose Guzman. Angels lead it by a score of 4-1. It'll be Pettis, Joyner, and then Brian Downing. There's the throw down to second base. And while we have a couple of seconds, we'd like to say happy birthday to John Savano, who works in the PR department for the California Angels, who helps us out, supplying you with a lot of information that we send along the way. And so happy birthday to you this afternoon, John.
He is 33 today, and you know
that's a misprint.
You know what one of his goals is?
What?
To one day shoot his age on the front side or the back side of a golf course.
Yeah, well, he better practice just a little bit more.
Well, one day he might do it. If he gets up there around 60 or 70, he might be able to shoot.
Here's Gary Pettis, and Gary runs up to butt and takes the pitch for a strike. Angels lead it by a score of 4-1. We're in the home half of the 7th inning. Gary is 1 for 2 in the game. Jose Guzman has retired 7 of the last 8 that he's faced. Perry shelling the grass at third, and the 0-1 pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What have been your impressions of Jose Guzman tonight, Ron? Obviously, his performance is overshadowed some significantly, let's face it, by Sutton, but he's pitched well.
The 1-1 pitch is flared foul beyond the Angels' dugout. That goes into the second deck. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, sometimes when you're involved in a game like this, when Don is going for number 300 in his career, that sometimes you fail to recognize the performance of the guy on the other side. Just like the other night when Charlie Huff was pitching a no-hitter against the Angels for 8 1/3 innings, we forgot that Kurt McCaskill for the Angels had given up just 1 run and 4 hits and pitched a whale of a ball game, striking out 10. Here's the next pitch, and it's low and inside, 2-2. So sometimes you get kind of wrapped up thinking about the obvious, and sometimes you miss a performance, a very brilliant performance by someone else. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and down goes Gary Pettis, up and in. And it's now a 3-2 count. You can hear the reaction of some of the fans, especially those sitting right behind home plate. They got probably a very good view of that. So it's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Gary. Outfield shading around toward left field, awful lot of room out in right center. Guzman's 3-2 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Gary. Another strikeout for Jose Guzman. He has 3 in the night. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Wally Joyner. Joyner this evening, 1 for 3. He singled his first time up. Has bounced out to second and flied out to left field. On deck, Brian Downing. For Guzman, he is retired 8 of 9, and you can hear the fans in the background. There's a ground ball to second base in 2 hops. Toby Harrah has it and goes to Pete O'Brien. It is fast becoming a trend here at the Big A that when young Wally Joyner comes to the plate, you know how they holler for Reggie, Reggie. Well, little by little, it's becoming Wally. Wally.
That would scare me. They suddenly were chanting my name.
Here's Brian Downing standing in. Fans, remember, it's your friendly Southern California Chevrolet dealers. Interest rates in those new cars and trucks start as low as 5.9%. That's a little tough to beat. So why don't you drop in and see your participating Chevrolet dealer before June 30th for those low, flexible financing rates. First pitch to Downing is outside for ball 1.
You see that much years ago, that kind of chanting from the fans?
No.
I don't remember that at all.
The 0-1 pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Of course, we didn't have the wave a few years ago either. Things have changed. Or the beach balls.
The 1-1 pitch is a mile high and fouled on the left field line. Goes way back into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brian. Downing with an RBI, his first time up, the fielder's choice to drive in Gary Pettis. And then he singles sharply to left field in the third, stole second, and is bounced out to short, so he is 1 for 3. Guzman starting to wind up, and just as he does that, Downing steps out. Brian standing back in. On deck is Reggie Jackson. Guzman, 1-2 pitch is just outside, 2-2. Came back with a fastball. Tomorrow is an off day for the Angels. They'll fly to Kansas City, where they get ready to take on the Royals in a 3-game set. Romanek, McCaskill, and Witt going for the Halos. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Downing hits one high in the air and well to left center field. Back goes Ward at the 370. Goodbye, home run for Downing. With his 8th home run of the year, and it's now 5-1 Angels, and out of the dugout comes the skipper, Bobby Valentine. And he may make a pitching change here. So the Angels' lead once again is back to 4 runs, and Valentine points to the bullpen. So the Rangers are going to make a pitching change. Angels baseball coming to you from the Big A here in Anaheim, where the score is now Angels 5 and the Rangers 1. Left-handed relief pitcher Mitch Williams has come into the ballgame, and he has taken over for Jose Guzman. And for Guzman, he goes 6 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, walks 3, strikes out 3, and gives up a couple of home runs. 1 to Downing and 1 to Rupert Jones. Mitch Williams will be facing Reggie Jackson. And for Williams, this is his 28th appearance of the year. ERA of 1.67. He's a good one. Has a couple of saves to his credit. And the first pitch to Jackson is high for ball 1. Left-hander who throws about 3/4. Looks like he can rush the ball up the plate in a hurry. Reggie 1 for 3 in the game. And the next pitch swung on a miss. That time, Williams rushed a fastball right on by Reggie, 1-1. Angels on top by a score of 5-1. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Don Sutton just 6 outs away from victory number 300. There's a pitch that is high and inside that has Reggie bending back out of the way, 2-1. Jackson down on the end of the bat waiting, and the 2-1 pitch is popped up foul off to our left. That'll go back into the upper deck here at the Big A. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Angels. No errors. Texas, 1 run and 2 hits. They have committed 1 error. There's a big chopper towards shortstop. Fletcher has it. Goes to Pete O'Brien in time to get Reggie. And once again, Reggie hustling down the line. He has hustled all year long. And that'll do it for the Angels. They come up with 1 run in the inning on 1 hit, the home run by Brian Downing. The Angels have stranded 5, and after 7 innings of play, Angels on top of Texas by a score of 5-1.
Mom, Dad, what are you doing here?
We go to the 8th inning in the countdown for Don Sutton, who's 6 more outs. He leads it by a score of 5-1. It'll be Sierra, Hara, and Petrali to be facing Donnie, and once again stepping to the microphone, here's Al Conant.
All right, Ron, 5-1. The Angels are leading. Don Sutton can taste it now. He builds to the windup, and the pitch to Sierra is on the outside corner for a strike on 1. Sierra 1 for 2, had a single in the second, one of only 2 hits that Don Sutton has allowed. The other, that home run to Incaviglia last inning. The strike 1 pitch on the way, and it's pulled toward the hole on the right side. Wilfong knocks it down and retrieves, but has no throw. And Sierra is aboard. Hit number 3 has been registered against Don Sutton. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Angels Radio Network.
KMPC Los Angeles.
This is Bob Rowe. Join me right after the game for Angel Talk. We'll replay the highlights, talk about the game, and take your phone calls. That's right after the game on 710 KMPC.
Leadoff man is on base for the Rangers. Here in the 8th inning, Toby Harris stepping up against Sutton, who has thrown a total of 69 pitches so far. Don delivers, and Hara grounds one to the right side. Wilfong has it, goes to second for 1, and that's all. The play going 4-6 if you're scoring along. Just 5 outs remaining to get. And Hara aboard on the fielder's choice. Gino Petrali will come up 0 for 2. Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Bud Light, mighty happy to send you the game tonight. And remember, Bud Light is the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just alike. So here's Petrali. Don Sutton surveying the situation. The outfield swung around to the right side. Infield looking for 2. Here's the pitch. And it's swung on a chop towards second base. Wilfong has it. Goes to Schofield. They got 1. On DeGroyer, they got 2. Don Sutton, 1 inning away from joining the ranks of the baseball immortals. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, still 5-1 Angels.
Angel fans, what do you...
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels, leading 5-1, would like to add it just a little bit more to make it all the more comfortable for Sutton in the 9th inning. Rupert Jones will lead it off against Mitch Williams, the young left-hander who has an excellent fastball and a tremendous breaking ball, too, which has made him the most effective contributor to this young Ranger pitching staff, which has really kept Texas atop the league. The pitch to Rupert is in there for a strike on 1. Jones 1 for 1 with a home run. He's also walked a couple of times. 5-1 Angels. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Halos tonight. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for Texas. Williams at the belt, working out of that stretch, as a lot of relievers do to start an inning. And the pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. As we get ready for that dramatic 9th inning, we'd like to pass along some congratulations to the Esperanza Aztecs. High school here in Southern California. There's one outside, 2-1. They were named the National High School Baseball Champs just yesterday. And what makes that interesting, their home field, Gene Autry Park. Maybe that's an omen for the rest of the year. Rupert swings and fouls one away, 2-2. So congratulations to the Esperanza Aztecs, national champs in high school baseball. That's quite an accomplishment. And we may have some major leaguers of the future coming off of that team. 2-2, the count to Rupert, to Sensei, and Wilfong to follow. 5-1 Angels here in the 8th. Williams at the bat. Here's the pitch. Sidearm breaking ball is hit well to right. Sierra going back in the corner again, and he one-hit. Well, Rupert hung in on that pitch very well. That's the kind of breaking ball, a lefty to a lefty, that could produce a jelly leg, but not for Jones. And that ball almost exits the yard. One away. Here's DeCinces. Farmers Insurance and your fast, fair, and friendly farmer's agent are happy to bring you all the Angels action. These are the people, of course, who work constantly to keep the cost of insurance down and the amount of protection up. They talked about a beach ball earlier on being part of the baseball scene nowadays. Well, we just had one roll off the netting behind the screen onto the field. A momentary pause, but it's taken out of play, and DeCinces looks at a pitch outside, 1-0. 5-1 Halos. Williams delivers fastball way inside, and Doug has to do a toe dance to avoid being hit. 2-0. Guzman went the first 6 2/3 innings, gave up the 5 runs. Williams has been out there since. We're in the 8th. The 2-0 pitch is a high pop-up behind home. Coming back is Petrali near the screen, and it drops beyond the screen to make it 2-1. In that 9th inning for Texas, the Rangers are due to send up their number 9 hitter, Scott Fletcher, then leadoff man Oddibe McDowell, followed by Gary Ward, and after that O'Brien and Incaviglia. Those are the principles that Sutton will have to wade through. The 2-1 pitch is outside, 3-1. So Don Sutton, 3 outs away from becoming part of a very select club. There's a fastball outside the DeCinces, ball 4, 3-1. A club that only 18 others have managed to join, and Sutton appears to be earning membership tonight. Here's Wilfong, 1 out, 1 on. And the first pitch to him is in there for a strike called, 0-1. Angels leading by 4 here in the 8th, trying to get more for Sutton. Williams delivers, and it's fouled off the hand straight back. So the count goes to 0-2 to Rob Wilfong, who certainly helped the cause tonight. He's 1 for 3, and his single drove in 2 big runs in that opening inning. It was a 2-out base hit at that. The next pitch fouled back, so it's still 0-2. The Angels with 3 in that first inning. 1 more in the 5th on the home run by Jones. They got yet another in the 7th on the homer by Downing, and Wilfong lets it go by for a ball, 1-2. The only run for Texas, a home run by Pete Incaviglia in the 7th. That's been the story. Sidearm fastball misses away. 2-2 to Wilfong. And this crowd of some 37,044, not going anywhere. There's a line drive pulled down the right field line into the corner. Fair ball, and up against the wall, and a fan reaches over and pulls it into the stands. And so it'll be a ground rule double, and I can understand the fan wanting a souvenir from this historic ball game. However, if it's an Angel fan, I think they've cost the Halos a run, because Wilfong doubling there had DeCinces at third, and Doug looked like he was on his way home.
Moose Stubing was waving DeCinces around. He would have been able to score. And you're right. Unless Schofield does something to drive in the runner from third, that play will have cost the Angels a run. And the fan down there in the right field corner who got the ball, apparently suffering some abuse from those around him. He's getting some boos. May have caused the Angels a run, but you can certainly empathize with his thinking, hey, I want a souvenir of this historic game. And he probably didn't really ponder what was going on. He just reached out instinctively. Well, let's hope it does not cost the Angels this one. Schofield, the hitter, and with first base open, they'll walk him intentionally to set up the force plays that could get them out of the inning. Rob Bruin will be coming up next. There's ball 2. Ball 3 and 4 will follow. So a 1-out walk to DeCinces. The ground rule double by Wilfong.
And now the intentional walk to Schofield will load him up for Bob Boone. Williams sends home the final ball, and so Schofield tosses away the lumber and trots the first base bag. So the Angels leading 5-1 certainly would take all they can get. Time called. Here comes Bobby Valentine to the mound. He may have decided to make a change here. We'll see. He is now at the rubber having a word with Williams. He, of course, could go to his ace out of the pen in Greg Harris, the right-hander, but he's going to stay with Williams. So he pats him on the backside and goes walking slowly to the dugout on the first base side.
Now, just a couple of things that come to my mind right here. Managers, when they're down, or I should say have an advantage of 4 runs, they like to play for that one more run because of that grand slam situation. And so, look for the squeeze here. Although Boone is pretty good at getting guys in.
The pitch is a ground ball sharply hit toward short. Fletcher scoops it up, goes to Harrell for 1. On to first, they turn the double play. And that is exactly what Texas wanted and what the Angels were trying to avoid. It goes 6-4 to 3, and the inning is over. However, the Angels have the lead. The stage is set for the top of the 9th inning. Don Sutton will be taking center stage, and we'll see how he does when we come back. Angels 5 and the Rangers 1.
You pay for snacks and beverages. You can only bring a garment bag and a bag.
We go to the 9th inning. Don Sutton on the threshold of history. He is 3 outs away from registering his 5th win of this year and number 300 in his career. It all began in April of 1966 at the Astrodome when he beat Robin Roberts for his first victory. And as Rod told you, he won his 100th game against San Francisco in 1972, September of that year. He won number 200 in July of 1978 at Pittsburgh. And now tonight, just a few outs remain for number 300. And interestingly, in each of those 2 other milestone games, he went the distance. Number 100 and in number 200. And here, after 21 years in the big leagues, he's trying to go the distance one more time. The fans have already sent him to the mound with a standing ovation. And now he goes to work on Fletcher. And the pitch is a breaking ball. Little high, 1-0. The Angels playing Fletcher to the opposite field, the infield. Shading him just a bit that way. DeCinces, even with the bag at third. Lots of room in left center. Fletcher in the game, 0 for 2. Don Sutton bills to the windup, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball, little low, make it 2-0. Don has thrown to 75 pitches to this point. This is the type of game he wanted to throw for number 300. Because this, after all, will be the crowning achievement of his career. The 2-0 pitch is a bit high. Make it 3 balls and no strikes. Sutton tonight on the verge of joining that most illustrious group of pitchers who in the history of the game have managed to win 300. The 3-0 to Fletcher is in there for a strike, and the crowd rooting with every pitch now. Cy Young with 511 leads that group of 18. Walter Johnson's at 416. Then Grover Cleveland Alexander and Christy Mathewson at 373. And it goes on. Lawrence Barnes at 363. The 3-1 pitch. And Fletcher takes in there for a strike. 3-2. Bud Galvin and Kid Nichols at 361 on the all-time list. Tim Keith at 342. John Clarkson at 327. Then comes some of Sutton's contemporaries, a la Steve Carlton, with 318 wins, and Gaylord Perry at 314. 3-2 to Fletcher. Sutton to the windup and the pitch. Swung on, and there's a high fly ball into shallow left center. Pettis is there, 1 away. And that'll bring up Orderby McDowell, who is 0 for 3 tonight, the youngster out of Arizona State, the former Olympian. Continuing down that list of 300 winners, Charles Radburn with 308, also among that elite group. Won 60 games in 1884. The pitch home is a fastball outside to Odaby, 1-0. The outfield giving him right center, the infield playing him to full. Mickey Welch with 307 career victories. That's where Tom Seaver is hovering about. Eddie Frank with 305. The next pitch is a high pop fly into shallow center. Schofield going out. Pettis coming on. And the catch is made. 2 away. One more out to get for Don Sutton. And this crowd of 37,044. Not hiding the emotion now. They have gotten to their feet, all of them. Every single one. And they're rooting for one man, Don Sutton. Gary Ward stepping in. He's 0 for 3. And on this 18th day of June, 1986, Sutton trying to join the Immortals. He builds to the windup and delivers fastball for a strike. Don Sutton on the verge of 300, and the 0-1 pitch is swung on and there's 0-2. Will he be the last man to win 300? Only time will tell. But he's not thinking about that now. He's thinking about becoming the 19th man ever to turn the trick. The crowd growing in their applause, and the 0-2 is just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What a roar underway here at the stadium. And a groan. After the plate, umpire Jim Evans calls it a ball. Now you hear it building again. Ward in a hole, 1 and 2. Sutton into his windup. And the pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? Foul flip. Boone holds on. Sutton wins 5-1. Number 300. And with the victory, you can almost bet you'll get a ticket to Cooperstown. The crowd, in tribute to Sutton, remains on its feet, applauding as his teammates scream around him in front of the mound. Gene Mark is there. Certainly Marcel Latzman. And Sutton accepting congratulations. The long sought-after goal has been attained. He has joined the 300 Club, and only he knows the price he has paid. What a moment, not only for Sutton, but for the Angels and their organization. And the Angels have completed a sweep of the Rangers in style, and as Sutton tries to leave the field with a bevy of reporters and cameramen around him, he is greeted by Mark, who gives him a hug. What a nice moment that is. Just to the left of home plate, Sutton trying to leave the field, his fist in the air, and number 20 has just won number 300. And he gives his son a hug. His son also wearing number 20. His wife, Patty, and daughter have come out of the stands. They, too, join in the embrace. They, too, have been part of the sacrifice. And if you have ever set a goal yourself for something important, you, too, are with Sutton right now. What a moment. What a moment indeed. So it's in the books. It took almost 21 years to happen, but it has happened. And the final score, the Angels win it 5-1. Sutton drops his cap one last time, and the crowd applauds. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Well, how can Chevron help you today, Mr. Euchre?
Take a look at this picture.
Well, who is it?
My nephew.
Here are the totals for this evening's game. The Angels, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left 7 men on base. For Texas, 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. They stranded 1. Winning pitcher, Don Sutton. He is 5-5 against the league, and career victory number 300 tucked away. The losing pitcher, Jose Guzman. His record is 6-7. Game-winning RBI goes to Brian Downing, his 6th of the year. Time of game, well, we're not sure as to the time of game, in front of 37,044. Time of game, 2 hours, and 13 minutes. And we'll be back to talk with the chairman of the board of the California Angels, Mr. Gene Autry, in just a moment. Final score, Angels 5 and the Rangers 1.